Oh.
Didn't mean to startle everyone. If there are any small forest animals out there, I apologize. Thank you all very much. May I call this County Council meeting of today, October 28th, starting a bit late, to order. And if you would stand and join me at the Pledge of Allegiance, I would appreciate it, and remain standing for the invocation. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear wise and loving God, we thank you for your many and abundant blessings. We thank you for life itself and for the measure of health given us to fulfill our duties. We thank you for the ability to be involved in useful work and for the honor of bearing serious responsibility. We ask that as a body, we promote peace, order, and justice, and you graciously grant us the wisdom to govern amid the conflicting interests and issues of our times, to have a sense of the true needs of our citizens, to have a keen thirst for justice, to understand and to clearly see what is good, fitting, and appropriate, and to have the ability to work together in harmony, even when there is honest disagreement, and to have personal peace in our lives and joy in our tasks. Finally, please help us to ensure that our deliberations here tonight benefit those who live and work in our extended community. In your name we pray. Amen. Amen. May I welcome everyone here in the audience tonight and all of those who are watching remotely. We appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedules to be here. Sarah, is it accurate to say that public notification of this meeting has been published, posted, and distributed in compliance with the Freedom of Information Act?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. May I have a motion to approve the agenda for tonight's meeting?
I'll motion.
Thank you. Ms. Brown, and a second?
A second.
Thank you, Mr. Glover. Any discussion about the agenda? Seeing none, this motion will pass without objection. Are there any objections? Seeing no objections, the agenda motion has passed. I'm seeking a motion for the approval of the minutes from August 26th, September 9th, September 16th, and September 23rd, all of 2024.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. Have a second, please?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Dawson. Any discussion on the approval of minutes? Hearing none, any objections? Seeing no objections, approval of the minutes, motion has passed. Mr. Moore, would you join us for your administrator's report, please?
Good afternoon, Chair and Council. We have a few announcements tonight for my report. I'd like to first start off with inviting our Beaufort County EMS, Virginia Marshall, to come up and speak about our third annual Beaufort County First Responder Food Drive. So, please.
Thank you. Evening, Council, Chairman. My name is Virginia Marshall. I work with Beaufort County EMS for the past 18 years, and during that time frame, I've been providing 911 services to residents throughout Beaufort County. And one of the things that we have recognized, not only in their times of emergencies when we go in for medical reasons, we also recognize that sometimes people need help in other capacities. We see that they're having to make hard choices, whether to put food on their tables or to get their medications that they need to take care of, like their high blood pressure or diabetes. Several first responders have been providing assistance over the years, individually or as groups, adopting families for Christmas and the holidays. And about 3 years ago, after speaking with some of these first responders and with some of the local agencies, we put together the Beaufort County First Responder Food Drive. What that is starting November 1st through December 13th, we are collecting non-perishable in-date food items that will be distributed between the Help of Beaufort and Bluffton Self-Help. Both of these agencies have been in existence for an extended period of time, and they are providing a lot of food to families, over 500 families a month, for those who have food insecurities. So I'm just here tonight to answer any questions about this, bring this to your attention, and just also ask that if you can, distribute this, speak about it at any of your committee meetings or any of your organizations to help us get this out. We have all the fire, EMS, and police departments that are participating, that are part of Beaufort County, and we have over 21 different collection aid locations, including one up in the vestibule area here at the County Administration Building. So with that being said, are there any questions about the program?
Well, thank you very much. I'll open it for questions from this body. Anyone have any questions?
You don't have a
Mr.
date on
Chairman, I
here
have
for
one.
It's running now through December 13th.
December 13th.
Yes, sir, and we will distribute it the following week to the two agencies so that they can assist with keeping their food banks and food shelves stocked through the new year.
This is the, this is the third annual event that you've had?
Yes, sir, it is.
Have you had big success in the
Yes, sir.
first year?
We started off small the first year, you had a little bit of a learning curve, and then last year we collected over 1,500 pounds of food that we distributed between the two agencies. So we usually started a little bit earlier in the year, but due to the recent weather issues that occurred in the upstate and in North Carolina, we wanted to allow those few collections and items that were going on to have that focus. So we're starting ours now, November 1st, to keep the local agencies afloat through the new year, hopefully.
Okay, well, I hope, we wish you the best of luck. We hope that you can match or exceed what you've accomplished in the previous two. So thanks very much for doing this. Any comments or observations, Manning? No, we
Mr.
wish
Chairman,
you
just
luck.
one
Thank you
from
very
here.
much for coming.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Council. Have a good evening.
Can you hear me? Mr. Chairman, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see your hand up.
Listen,
Did you have a
Mr.
comment?
Chairman, it's fine. I just want to ask Ms. Marshall, are there any drop-off locations on the island anywhere?
We have them on the Lays Island headquarters, Fripp Island. They're in Bluffton, City Hall, Port Royal has them. And if you check your packet, you have a list that has the different locations, the 21 different locations. We'll also be posting it on our social media and just any media outlets that we have. And that would be something that I believe also Beaufort County is going to be doing as well to their employees, or I hope that they do it to their employees as well, and any other social media outlets.
So what's the
Okay, then,
total
thank
number
you.
of
I'll
drop-offs?
find one on Hilton Head then. I appreciate that.
I'm sorry, sir? We do not have one on Hilton Head because Hilton Head Fire Department does their own food collection at this time frame, and we did not want to compete with them.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Marshall, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Is there anything we can do for Mr. Reitz with his volume there? Is that controlled where he is? Tom, just stand by a second. We're having a little trouble hearing you. Give me a count, would you, Tom? Tom?
Testing, 1, 2, 3. How about now?
You may have to just speak a little louder until we get
Okay,
this
very
adjusted.
good.
Okay,
I
thanks.
could yell. I could
Mr. Moore?
yell. Thank you.
Okay, next, I would like to recognize our Beaufort County Veterans Affairs Director, Caroline Furman, if she's here. I think I saw her. Yes. So our director has been named the University of South Carolina Outstanding Veteran Alumni. Dr. Caroline Furman has been named one of University of South Carolina's Outstanding Veteran Alumni. This award is presented to a graduate who has served in the U.S. military with honor, distinguished themselves in his or her professional career, and shown remarkable leadership that includes service, integrity, character, and leadership. Dr. Furman is a native Beaufortonian, graduated from the University of South Carolina in 1985. She spent 25 years in the United States Marine Corps with global assignments that took her from Hawaii to Japan to Washington, D.C. She has a Master in Economics from Johns Hopkins University, Master's in Military Studies from Marine Corps Command and Staff College, Master's in National Security and Strategic Studies from the Marine Corps War College, and a Doctorate in Leadership and Innovation from St. Thomas University. As a Wounded Warrior, she has been a peer mentor for the Wounded Warrior Project, assisting fellow warriors in their recovery journey. She also serves as a Wounded Warrior Project warrior advocate leader, advocating for veterans and grassroots efforts in South Carolina. She has participated in several Operation Advocacy fly-ins on Capitol Hill and the first Women Warrior Summit in Washington, D.C. last fall. In this capacity, she actively advocates with our federal legislators for veterans benefits such as the PACT Act, Major Richard Starr Act, and several bills to combat veteran suicide. As Director of Veterans Affairs for Beaufort County, Caroline has expanded the breadth and scope of operations, increasing the span of veteran services. She has established a Veteran Advisory Council and a Beaufort County Veteran Council, where she brings government agencies, nonprofits, and community organizations together to support the veteran population. Under her leadership, the department has exceeded all goals in its first year, notably reducing the untethered population by 5% in less than 10 months. We congratulate Dr. Furman on this well-deserved recognition and for her continued support of Beaufort County and its veterans.
Can't come all the way up there and not say anything.
Exactly.
Well, it is truly an honor to be recognized by my alma mater, USC. I was completely shocked when I got the notification several months ago. So this Friday, I'll actually attend the award ceremony and then the homecoming game on Saturday. So go Gamecocks.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Carolyn, picture.
Picture, yeah.
I totally did.
Cool. We'd also like to recognize Virginia Ann McGowan as Veterans Affairs Officer of the Year. In the back, okay. So she was selected as South Carolina Association of Counties, or SCAC, Veterans Affairs Officer Associate Member of the Year for 2023-2024. The recipient is acknowledged for being the best veteran service officer in the state. Her professionalism and leadership are instrumental in the Beaufort County Veterans Affairs Office expanding its breadth and scope of service provided to our veteran population. Moreover, Ann single-handedly held down the department through the transition of directors, being the only veteran service officer accredited to process claims for 6 months. We thank you for your devoted service to Beaufort County, its veterans, and congratulations on this achievement.
I want to thank Dr. Caroline Furman for nominating me for this position, and our South Carolina Veterans Association for electing me. I love what I do. It's wonderful. I don't work. It's a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll get a picture. I'd also like to comment that last Friday, we had the grand opening of a second Veterans service office in Bluffton. Ms. Tabernick was there, and it was a great ceremony, so we're glad to see that.
And we're going to get a new awning.
Yes, that is on order.
Okay.
Now I'd like to move to some awards that the county received this year. The South Carolina Association of Counties, or SCAC, hosts a yearly award luncheon, and this year Beaufort County won in multiple categories. So I'm going to go through these. The first one is the 2024 J. Mitchell Graham Barrett Laura Moore Memorial Awards. And these awards recognize innovative projects completed by counties during the past 2 fiscal years. Winners represent the best qualities of local governance, attention to details, service to citizens, efficient use of tax dollars, improvements in the quality of life. They demonstrate how creative problem solving and collaboration can achieve impressive results and offer new ideas for other counties to consider. Each project is judged on the written entry submitted via the online application form by the due date and an in-person presentation before a panel of judges on the competition day. So the county received an honorable mention for Emerging Leaders Annual Women's Conference. Do we have representatives here, Hannah? Yes, we do. Here they are. I think you may recall this, they were presented to the council a few weeks ago. And the Beaufort County Women's Leadership Summit began in June 2023 as an annual event featuring presentations, discussions, and networking opportunities for women leaders from various sectors. The program is expansion of Beaufort County Emerging Leaders Group, established in 2021 to support career development, relationship building, and community service among employees. By providing engagement opportunities, the program strives to attract, develop, and retain emerging leaders in county government. So, congratulations to both of you.
As we said in our presentation, we're just really fortunate to work for Beaufort County. Not everybody is as fortunate to have all the assets that we have. We definitely have to praise the broadcasting department. They helped us create a beautiful video to put into the presentation that really wrapped it all together. And just to be employees of the county, really fortunate for everything that we have as employees.
I would like to thank Jared as well. Jared really kind of nudged us to apply for this award, which kind of put Victoria and I to the test and kind of put us in roles that we weren't used to, but we greatly appreciate that boost of confidence that he had in us, confidence that he had for us to get the job done, and for the administration for being there to support us.
Congratulations.
Okay, next, the 2024 Regional Cooperation Award received honorable mention for Coastal Area Cooperative Regional Partnership, Horry, Charleston, Berkeley, and Beaufort counties. The South Carolina Area Cooperative was established to ensure reliable 911 service across its region and meet public expectations for consistent emergency response. Formed under a master cooperative agreement in 2018 and amended in 2023, the partnership includes Beaufort, Berkeley, Charleston, and Horry counties, the city of Goose Creek, and the town of Somerville. The agreement includes automatic and mutual aid, disaster recovery, resource coordination, information sharing, and technology integration. The program has provided backup call taking and dispatching during emergencies, and it aims to maintain 911 service continuity with the integration of various technologies and procedures. So, I don't know if we have anybody here for that one. So, Hannah will present. Okay, thank you.
It's like being a woman.
And now I'd like to announce the winner of the 2024 Barrett Larimore Memorial Regional Cooperation Award. This is strengthening regional corner capacity. So we have a corner here, David. It's Chief Deputy Coroner, outstanding. So I'm going to read this, and now you can make some remarks. So, Beaufort and County Coroners established a framework for sharing resources and investigative tools aimed at improving data standardization and communication between the counties. Supported by grant funding, the initiative enhances the capacity to manage mass fatalities and provides services to over 630,000 residents. The collaborative effort addresses challenges such as inconsistent data standards and limited investigative resources, which can delay death investigations and the issuance of death certificates, particularly in cases involving natural disasters, the opioid crisis, or mass fatalities. On August 12, 2024, Beaufort and Charleston counties submitted their application to SCAC to be considered. On September 19th, 2024, Coroner Bobby Joe O'Neill of Charleston County and Coroner David Ott of Beaufort County went before the panel of judges at SC, ETV, and Columbia, and together they presented a live presentation to the judges. On October 17th, SCAC held their awards luncheon in Columbia to announce the winners of the award, and Beaufort County and Charleston County were awarded first place, and together they received the Barrett Larimore Memorial Award with trophy given to each county. So congratulations.
Thank y'all. This is a really, really big award for Charleston County and Beaufort County, not just the coroner's office, but our citizens. Beaufort and Charleston County still holds the only offices in the state of South Carolina that has our pathology on staff where we do autopsies right here in-house. And to be able to send one of my deputies to Charleston County to help them with no training, and likewise, they can come to our county with no training. For the past 4 years, me and Coroner O'Neill along with the help of both our staffs, have put a plan together that our I's and our T's are all dotted on the same sheets of paper. And the citizens of both counties, and we open our counties up to surrounding counties around us. They can come to us, of course. But I think the citizens, and especially y'all in front of us today, is, I'm very happy to have received this award along with Corners, Bobby Joe O'Neill, and I want to thank y'all for supporting us in these fine 3 years I've had, almost 4 years, soon to be walking out the door. So, but thank y'all.
Mr. Chairman, may I make a comment?
Sure, hold on, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I want to thank you and your office for the wonderful job that you did for my neighbor next door, John Murray. And they were very, very appreciative.
Thank you.
Your office is incredibly professional, and I want to relay to you that they were so impressed. And so, I mean, I can't tell you the comfort you gave them.
Thank you.
And I want to thank you for that.
Thank you.
Subject to any questions, that concludes my report.
Thank you. Any questions for the county administrator? Okay. Thank you, appreciate it. We have a number of proclamations to present coming up. Before we do that, I just want to do an add-on to the administrator's report. There's a request from the Public Service District and the Beaufort Jasper Water and Sewer Authority to all of its customers not to run their irrigation systems on October 29th and 30th because they are shutting down one of their water treatment plants as part of a construction project at the plant. So they have asked everyone to please turn off their irrigation for those 2 days, if you can remember to do that, October 29th and October 30th, because they don't expect that it will affect the supply of drinking water that we have, but out of an abundance of caution, they're asking us, please, don't water your shrubs and your grass on those 2 days. Thank you all for listening. Have the young Marines arrived? I know they were in a detour. Oh, you're here, okay. How many of you are there? Okay, great. Okay, I'm going to make a proclamation for Red Ribbon Week. Then there'll be one recognizing Operation Green Light. Then there's another one recognizing the Penn Center's 162nd anniversary. And then there'll be one for the outstanding performance and commitment of the Beaufort County Youth Conference Youth Ambassadors. I will not be doing all of those, don't worry. There'll be other people coming down there to do that. Excuse me. I've been accused of taking too much time when I do these. He talks. Everyone seems to think I enjoy it so much.
You
And
do.
I do.
You do. Yes.
This proclamation is going to be presented to an organization from Paris Island, the Young Marines organization. Every year they're kind enough to come here and accept this proclamation, and they accept it because they do a great deal of work in trying to help win the war on drugs by conducting information seminars and conferences and presentations. And so we give this to them every year. This proclamation, thanks. This proclamation has been issued. The Red Ribbon Week has been created as a result of an incident that occurred back in 1985 when a young special agent from DEA who was working in Guadalajara, Mexico, was kidnapped and killed by the drug traffickers who were operating in that area. His name was Enrique Camarena. Those of us who knew him called him Kiki. He didn't object to that, so we kept calling him that. He was working in Guadalajara because DEA has special agents operating all over the globe in not only the United States, but over 60 different foreign countries. And the traffickers there learned that he was being very effective in their area, eliminating a very large marijuana field, so they wanted to find out what he knew and who was telling him all this. And during the interrogation that occurred, he was tortured and killed along with his pilot. I was working for DEA at the time. and I was dispatched to California by the head of DEA to arrange for the return of the remains of Agent Camarena. And I went to the Marine Corps base there, and I spoke to the colonel who was in charge of the air station, and I told him that I had been dispatched from Washington to arrange this, and could he help me? He wasn't unfriendly, but he was wondering why I asked him if he could help me. So I explained to him what Agent Camarena was doing in Mexico. I told him that he was a native of Calexico, California. I told him he had been a fireman and that he had been a policeman, and then he was a special agent with DEA. And he stood there and he watched me and he listened to me, and he said, and I said, I should also mention he's a former Marine. So the colonel stood up, gave me a quick salute and said, I'll handle the rest of this, son. And he did. They dispatched a C-130 to Mexico, brought the United States ambassador to Mexico, back to the air station, brought the family, and there was an honor guard for the return of Agent Camarena's remains. They stayed with this through transport to Calexico, his hometown, to the funeral, and to the cemetery, and did a remarkable job. So this proclamation that I'm going to read recognizes what happened and the fact that Red Ribbon Week became Red Ribbon Month, and we celebrate it every year to try and send a message that if you go to your center for wisdom, courage, and guidance, and you have a substance abuse problem, you may find that when you go there, there's nothing to draw on. So they are trying to discourage people from abusing substances that would not allow them to go to their center for courage, wisdom, and guidance. Whereas communities across America have been plagued by the numerous problems associated with illicit drug use and those that traffic in them, and whereas there is hope in winning the war on drugs, that hope lies in education and drug demand reduction, coupled with the hard work and determination of organizations such as the Young Marines of the Marine Corps to foster a healthy, drug-free lifestyle. And whereas governments and community leaders know that citizen support is one of the most effective tools in the effort to reduce the use of illicit drugs in our communities, and whereas the red ribbon has been chosen as a symbol commemorating the work of Enrique Camarena, a DEA agent who was murdered in the line of duty, and represents the belief that one person can make a difference. And whereas the Red Ribbon Campaign was established by Congress in 1988 to encourage a drug-free lifestyle and the involvement in drug prevention and reduction efforts, and whereas October 23 through 31 has been designated National Red Ribbon Week, which encourages Americans to wear a red ribbon to show their support for a drug-free environment. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Beaufort County Council recognizes October 23rd through the 31st as Red Ribbon Week in Beaufort County and urges all citizens to join in this special observance. So can I invite the representatives of the Young Marines to come up? You'll see that they've given me my red ribbon already, and I've been wearing this for 40-some years now. I'm happy to present this to you and also tell you that I have from you a new DEA challenge coin that was given to me just a week or so ago. I think I gave you one once before, but this is the new model. And I also brought one for your escort, so I'd be happy to give that to her, okay? Would you like to say something?
It's always lovely to see the public come out and just see these meetings as well. It's lovely to be presented this, and it's amazing to see counties and cities all across America stand up and just represent this. Our program stands for ages 8 through the completion of high school, and that's a broad range, right? I'm 15 myself, and it's lovely. It's beautiful that we are able to come to these meetings and be presented these. It shows that America's youth is not forgotten and that we can stand up for what is right. Thank you.
Thanks very much for coming. Appreciate it. It's always a pleasure to see you. Thanks very much. As I promised, I'll not be doing the next proclamation. This is going to be a proclamation recognizing Operation Greenlight by Councilmember David Bartholomew.
Is there anybody here on behalf of Operation Greenlight? If not, I'll just go ahead, and I'm honored to read, oh, Caroline Furman, come on up. I tell you, I am honored to present this proclamation for Operation Greenlight. Whereas Beaufort County Council has a great respect, admiration, and the utmost gratitude for all the men and women who have selflessly served our country and this community in the armed forces. And whereas Beaufort County Council seeks to honor individuals who have made countless sacrifices for freedom by placing themselves in harm's way for the good of all. And whereas veterans continue to serve our community, the American Legion, veterans of foreign wars, religious groups, civil service, and by functioning as county veteran service officers in 29 states to help fellow former service members access more than $52 billion in federal health, disability, and compensation benefits each year. And whereas approximately 200,000 service members transition to civilian communities annually, and whereas studies show that 44 to 72% of service members experience significant stress during their transition from military to civilian life, and those transitioning from active duty are at an increased risk of suicide during their first year following military service. And whereas the National Association of Counties encourages all counties, parishes, and boroughs to recognize Operation Greenlight for veterans, and now therefore be it resolved that Beaufort County Council hereby designates the month of November as a time to honor and recognize the service and sacrifices of our men and women in uniform who are transitioning from active duty. And in observance of Operation Greenlight, Beaufort County Council encourages all citizens to participate in this meaningful tradition of displaying green lights in their homes or businesses throughout the month of November as a tribute to those who have made profound sacrifices to safeguard our freedoms. Dated this 28th day of October, 2024. Thank you.
First off, I'd like to thank each member of County Council for voting on this proclamation. The Operation Greenlight is a visual display of the sacrifice and support that our veterans, our active duty military has given this country. So I thank County Council for this resolution, and I thank Beaufort County for supporting this initiative by shining green lights for the month of November.
Present this to you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
The next two proclamations will be presented by Councilmember York Glover. The first for a proclamation recognizing Penn Center's 162nd anniversary. And the second one, the outstanding performance and commitment of the Beaufort County Youth Conference Youth Ambassadors.
Dr. Adams, yes. They're on this side here, so we're gonna stand on this side here.
Okay.
Yes. This is a proclamation for the Penn Center in this celebration that's coming up 162 years, as well as their, how many years of heritage? 40th. Okay. The proclamation reads, whereas in 1862, the Penn Center was one of the first academic schools in the South established by two Northern missionaries, Laura M. Towne and Ellen Murray, to provide a formal education for formerly enslaved Africans. And whereas for 162 years, Penn Center, Inc., located on St. Helena Island, has been at the epicenter of African-American education, historic preservation, and social justice for tens of thousands of descendants of formerly enslaved Africans living in the Sea Islands known as the Gullah people. And whereas the school closed in 1948, Penn became the first African-American site in South Carolina whose primary purpose was to safeguard the heritage of a Gullah community by preserving districts and landmarks that epitomize essential elements of its culture, history, to promote the use of conservation of such landmarks for the education. And whereas In 1960s, Penn Center assumed the mantle of social justice by ushering in civil rights movement and serving as the only location in South Carolina where interracial groups such as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and the Southern Christian Leadership Conference and the Peace Corps could have safe sanctuary in an area of mandated de jure segregated, and whereas in 1972, Penn established the Land Use and Environmental Educational Program to assist Native Islands with issues of land retention and stewardship through education and legal services, and whereas in 1974, the Penn Center received recognition for nomination for its own campus of 17 historic structures and 8 other sites on St. Helena Island as the National Historic Landmark District, one of only 4 in the state of South Carolina and the only African-American historic district so named. And whereas in 1994, Penn Center opened the York W. Bailey Museum, the first African-American museum in Beaufort County, to interpret the history of Penn Center as well as that of the Gullah community of St. Helena Island. And whereas in 2008, Penn Center, Inc. demonstrated its responsiveness in meeting the ongoing and involving needs of the community by entering a unique public-private partnership with the Beaufort County Library and the Beaufort Jasper Hampton Comprehensive Health Service, Inc., to build a multi-million-dollar library and health center complex on property leased and or donated by the Penn Center. And whereas January 2017, Penn Center and other historic sites in Beaufort County was dedicated the national first Reconstruction era national monument by President Barack Obama. And whereas the Penn Center, I'm getting to the last one, commemorates its 162th anniversary in 2004, it has continued to endure both as a national monument promoting historic preservation as well as a catalyst for economic sustainability through the Sea Islands. Now therefore be it resolved that the Beaufort County Council celebrates Penn Center as it commemorates its 162nd anniversary and is dated the 20th day, October the 24th, and is signed by Joseph F. Pasterman, Chairman. That's a lot.
I'd definitely like to thank the County Council for the proclamation and also add a new designation. UNESCO in Paris last week announced the Penn Center as one of the 22 sites around the world that is a site or place of remembrance of enslavement and the slave trade. There are only 4 sites named in the U.S., and Penn Center is one of them. And it's just a reminder that Beaufort County is the center of the world. Thank you.
And Mrs. Major and Mrs. White and Mrs. Singleton, who else? And the whole group, please. I'm going to turn this around, so I want y'all to be here. Wow. This is, I'm going to stand on this side over here, but yeah, you can stand on this side over there. Okay. Yeah, this you can line around here. Yeah. This is a group of ambassadors along with their leaders. And it's the 40th, what is the 40th? 32nd Youth Conference celebration. And these are youth all over Beaufort County. Any more? Is it? Okay. Yeah. Y'all look good. You really do look good. Okay. And that's why I'm wearing my T-shirt today in support of them. They gave it to me, so I wore one. Doc, next time you give me one, I will use. Okay. This is a proclamation. Whereas the 2024 ambassadors, formerly known as the Beaufort County Youth Planners for the Beaufort County Youth Conference, and whereas the 26 ambassadors initially came together in March 2024 for the initial planning session for the 2024 Beaufort County Youth Conference, the ambassadors, through team-building activities, brainstorming, and prioritizing, decided the theme, "Don't Snooze Your Bad Habits." And that really sunk in with me because I procrastinate a lot, so that really hit me hard, okay? And their concerns generated these workshops topics: school safety, substance abuse and assault, and social media. And whereas the ambassadors met monthly from June 2024 to September 2024 for training in the area of public speaking, effective communication and listening skills, and effective leadership skills to enhance their abilities as leaders, and whereas the 26 ambassadors committed themselves to uphold the life and live by the ambassador's creed, now therefore be it resolved that Beaufort County Council hereby proclaim, celebrate, and recognize this day, October the 28th, 2024, the Beaufort County Youth Conference ambassadors as leaders in the county of Beaufort. Beaufort County Youth Conference Youth Ambassadors, dated the 28th day of October of 24, and signed by Chairman Joseph F. Passaman.
Thank you so much. On behalf of the Beaufort County Youth Conference, we'd like to just thank you for your support, Councilman Glover, and members of the County Council. This is truly a collaborative effort. No, this is not a one-man show. Everyone you see here, the St. Helena Island community, various representatives help us make this event possible every year. Our job is to educate, inspire, and help make students make healthy decisions. These are our future leaders. Our job now is to prepare these youngsters to replace you guys. These are our future leaders. So thank you again. Thank you for your support. And I have one of my ambassadors that would like to say something.
The Beaufort County Youth Conference thanks you for your honor, for this honor and your recognition.
Everybody's gonna have to scooch in like you like each other. If you can't see me, I can't see you, so find a window, put your face in it. There's a young lady in the back. There you go. Beautiful. Perfect. All right. Everybody, big smiles. 3, 2.
Mr. Chairman, they brought their own professional photographer, but he doesn't get paid.
You saw him stand up during the Marine Corps presentation.
There you go.
I have a feeling that he served there. I'm just going to give them a minute to
Eva.
blue.
Yeah.
There'll be many more seats available if anybody standing in the back wants to sit down.
Lots more seats.
That was great, York. Good
thank
suggestion,
you.
great idea, very nice.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to have some citizen comments now. We're going to have a citizen comment period. Every citizen who is invited to speak is welcome to come forward and speak for 3 minutes on the topic that they're going to address. We have a timer that will be going. At 30 seconds, you'll hear a bell. That doesn't mean you have to leave. That means you have 30 seconds to wrap it up, and then you'll get another signal. And we would appreciate it if you would stay within that 3 minutes. So the first speaker I'm going to call is Eddie Rogers. Eddie still here? Edie, sorry, Edie. You certainly are not an Eddie, that's for sure. I apologize. Welcome, and
Thank you very much. There's no earthly way I could say what I really want to say in 3 minutes. So I've given all of you a real 90% maybe of how I feel about the tax referendum, but I wanted to address it, and I drew up a quick summary, and I'll talk as fast as I can. But I have to tell you, I wanted to compliment the young lady with the purple flower on her shirt for getting up to this microphone so everybody in the room could hear her. I go to city councils, and I've been ignoring county council for years now. And I reprimand the council and everybody who gets up to the podium because they don't get close enough to their microphone to be heard. Having said all that, I'm sorry? Oh, thank you. It saddens me to have to tell my county council and some of the staff that I've lost my trust in your ability to do the best thing for Beaufort County. And there are many others who join me in that feeling. It didn't happen solely on the broken promises from the 2018 referendum. That was just one of the latest things added to the list. We understood why you felt the need to throw in $30 million for Ladies Island projects to get our vote, and we voted for the tax, but you haven't kept your word. We simply don't understand how you can put a price on something that hasn't even been designed. And I can't emphasize that enough. Imagine trying to build a house without knowing what you were going to build and going and getting a loan for whatever amount of money. Anyway, the 2024 request is a repeat of that problem as I see it. The law, state law, requires that the projects be defined specifically in the paper, in the newspaper. I believe it says 4 times consecutively weeks prior to the referendum. Ours is so vague and general, whereas I challenge you, look at Jasper counties and how they spelled out all their projects according to the law. And I think we should be doing the same thing. We were also told that the monetary shortfall for the 2018 projects was caused by COVID and inflation, but I say putting the cart before the horse is what really caused the shortfall. Please know we, and that's an editorial we, but I haven't really spoken with anyone who liked this idea. We are not going to vote for this referendum. I didn't today. And you won't regain our trust until you get the horse in front of the cart. And by that I mean do the proper planning, explain the projects to the people, and publish them, and this is a quote, in the newspaper or general circulation in the jurisdiction as required by law. Get some estimates so you can realistically price the projects and show us some real integrity and transparency. And if I may be so bold, I'd personally believe the county and each municipality should declare a moratorium on approving new residential projects until each entity prepares a spreadsheet of every project already approved to be built. So we can combine that info and compile the data needed to figure out where we're going to need new roads, new schools, power grids, water, sewer, et cetera, et cetera.
Ms. Rogers, I'm afraid that I'm not sure what's happening with the timer, but the signal that I heard was so vague, I don't think that you heard it.
Oh.
So I would ask you if you wouldn't mind.
I'm sure you're right that I didn't hear it because.
I didn't hear it either.
Oh, good. I could lend you one hearing aid.
I apologize for interrupting.
Well, we just want you to make an effort to get ahead of this constant influx of new residents, and we believe that it starts with informed planning. In the meantime, we're voting no.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is that fixed? Yes, no, maybe? Oh, is it coming in the back? Will the alarm go off at 30 and 0? Oh, it will? Okay, thank you. Carrie Major? Hello, Carrie.
Hello, Carrie.
How are you tonight?
I know everyone is well today, and I'm so grateful for you all acknowledging our youth, and that is my heart, that's my assignment, and we're grateful to you and the community for helping us. So I stand here again, and I saw just a smidgen of the report coming from the PALS director. My heart says we need a state-of-the-art community center, youth and community center on St. Helena Island, centrally located. And again, you all know that until that ground is broken, I'll be before you as the Lord allows me to. And I would like to look at the plans or even talk with Mr. Brown a little bit more, because we need to make sure it's what our community needs and not what you all desire to give us. And I know because you all are elected officials and you all have the people's heart, okay? And we thank you for considering your constituents, considering the people, and the needs of the people. So we're looking forward to getting that community center on St. Helena Island. And again, thank all of you for listening.
Thank you, Carrie. Mr. Smith, front and center. Hello, William.
How you doing, sir?
You all right?
Yes, sir. Where I'm from, we sing a song in our heritage called "Oh the Blood." Oh, the blood done signed my name. Oh, the blood. That's an old good spiritual. When I think about where we are at in terms of Beaufort County as a county, and I look at the amount of caskets that we're putting before us as a county, in the amount of calls that the sheriff department and what we're dealing with. And everyone has a piece of that pie. And I've come to this council several times, and I've been awaiting. I've been awaiting, but while I've been waiting, we are in the range now where we've probably buried maybe about 20-something odd kids this year. Maybe in the range of 22-something babies. From, I'll say, maybe between 25 or 20, maybe even younger than that. Maybe from 20 down. As elected officials, older blood, we have to make sure that we're doing everything within our willpower and in our wheelhouse to bring different businesses in this county that can give our youth a safe place to go to and have great conversations. We have a department that they pretty much, their job is to bring businesses here. The question is, what are they doing? The taxpayer, Ms. Major just bought, that's great, we need that. But we also need businesses who can bring places where people can go at who have families and they can afford to take their kids out, not just at some of these parks, but different places where the kids can enjoy it and they can have quality family time. Beaufort doesn't offer that. I appreciate the military. I appreciate the retirees. I appreciate all that. I appreciate the hospitality, the food industry. But the question is, what in the hell is it for the kids to do here? What is there for the kids to do? What, the libraries? But beyond that, what else is there for the kids here to do? We don't have no bowling alley on this side. No movie theaters. The Beaufort County School District just said that every kid in the county needed free and reduced lunch. What does that says about this county? My theme is this: every kid, every day. If what we're doing up here, it don't involve every kid, every day, every family, every day, we got some blood on our hands. We got to wash that blood off our hands. And it's very personal. I appreciate the work. I appreciate you acknowledging the kids tonight. I appreciate the work that y'all do. I ain't come up here to beat you, but I'm coming up here just to remind you. We got work to do. Let's get to it.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Cynthia Holmes still here? Hello, Ms. Holmes, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you
Good.
so very much. I did have some notes written down, but anyway.
That
Thank you
buzzer
so.
doesn't go off, I'll remind you.
Okay. Thank you, on behalf of the youth of Beaufort County. I wanted to remind the council that I also agree that we do need a community center. We need something for our young people. 31 years ago, I made a decision, along with my husband. He's a native of this area, and we made a decision to move from Hardyville here so that I could start my young child, now 35, in the school system here, because I felt at Jasper County at that time it wasn't adequate for him, and I wanted to get him started. And one of the things that I looked upon was the activities that were once here at that time. I remember all the baseball fields every Saturday were filled with children participating in the youth activities. Now that's not so. Most of the parks are empty now because things have moved away from the islands and local areas, and most people have put their own, within their own communities, amenities and those type of things that our kids can't use. So along with everyone else, and hopefully everyone will agree that we do need things for our youth. There was there was 2 movie theaters when I came here, bowling alley, skating ring. There once was a project for like a little fun area that didn't last long at all. So things have moved. I don't know who we're focusing on in this area anymore, but it's definitely not the children. Our children need somewhere to go. They don't even have a gym that they can go to on St. Helena. We have to come into town. Even myself, as bad as I need to exercise, when I think about I have to go all the way into town to do that, then I don't get there, you know? So please, we need things for our young people. Those young people that stood here, I was so glad to see them, and I encouraged them to get involved in being at the community meetings so that they could voice their opinion at a young age. So please, you all, hear what others have been saying. We've been paying our tax money. I know I'm a come-ya. That's what they told me. I'm not a Gullah native, but I love the community. I love our young people. I have grandkids in this community, and I want them to feel like they can blossom. We're trying to create things that our young people can get involved, and it costs a lot of money. Not everybody can afford it. I have the luxury to be able to do some of the things for my grandkids, but not everybody can do it. So we need some affordable things. I thank God for the information that I heard today about building a community center. It's necessary. It's needed. Growing up, I had a teen club that I could go to that was just for teens. We had people that monitored us. We had a swimming pool, all of those things. Our kids need it. So thank you for hearing me, and hopefully something will move forward.
Thank you very much. Thank you. That concludes our citizen comment period. Now move into committee reports. I've asked the chairs and vice chairs of the committees that have made a contribution to the consent agenda tonight, which contains 20 items, to summarize those items without reading what's on the agenda, but simply in plain English tell you what all of those items are. So I'm hoping that you'll get the short version of what it is we're going to vote on for the 20 items that are on the consent agenda, which are described, of course, in the background for the material that went out publicizing this meeting. So are there any liaison and committee reports aside from those that will be done by the committee chairs? Ms. Howard?
Yes, I attended the TCL board meeting. They have a lot of stuff going on in our community. It's the highest enrollment in 9 years this fall. They had 2,458 students enrolled. That counts the dual enrollment. The dual enrollment program, which includes both the certificate programs and the college degree programs, is just growing by leaps and bounds. It's grown 21%. It's offered through all the high schools now in Beaufort County. You can start out as a freshman in a high school and either get a certificate and or a lot of college credits, including getting a two-year degree. Some of these students are getting a two-year degree while they're still in high school. They are working with the Ridgeland State Prison on an HVAC program, which would teach those programs there. In January 25, they're going to start a fire science program, and they're hiring a medical lab tech coordinator, and they are very excited about our support of their newest project, the Workforce Center. And Jasper County also contributed money to that, and so did Hardyville. So it is definitely a regional workforce center with contributions from those three local governments, counting us. And that was it.
Can you summarize for us those?
Yes, I'll be glad to.
And just in plain English.
Yes. Community Services and Land Use Committee, the third reading of allowing single family in our commercial zones will be approved this time with the consent agenda. The comprehensive plan added the housing impact study as an appendix. And we've got number 3 was the health and sanitation ordinance. We've repealed the board for alcohol and drug abuse because those services are provided through staff. Number 4 was approval of the resolution to purchase some real property known as Rostrum Road. And number 5 was to allocate money, this is very important, especially to our fellow council member, Mr. Lawson, to convert septic to sewer in the Alljoy community, which is now going to full council, was approved by the committee.
Thank you, Ms. Howard, appreciate that. Mr. Lawson?
Yes, and again, let me say thank you. Mr. Stone is here from Beaufort Jasper Water and Sewer, who is a big part of that, the Alljoy, so I just want to throw that in there because it's something that has been worked on very hard, not just by me and Mr. Stone, but Mr. McKellen, you helped with it, as well as past council people. So, again, thank you to all that was involved to get us to this point, and we're looking forward to more cooperation from our delegation as well. And just from the Finance Committee, we just have one thing, which is to close out the Fire Station 34 project of $11,000 to close that out, and we will be finished completely with that project financially and also with the physical building.
Thank you. Mr. Bartholomew, I hate to say this,
That's
but
all
you've
right.
got like 2 pages here.
Yep,
So.
I was about to say, how much detail do you
But
want on my 14 items?
you're a skilled orator, so
Well,
I'm sure you'll give us the short.
I'll see what I can do. So, item number 7, we had a really packed agenda for the Public Facilities and Safety Committee last go round. Number 7 is dealing essentially with a lease agreement for us to house county buses or the Palmetto Breeze buses on a facility that was not being utilized. So that's pretty straightforward. Number 8. That's just authorizing an agreement between UPS to rent spaces at the Hilton Head Airport. I think that's going to generate, I think they're already doing that. It should generate some cash flow for the airport as well. Number 9 is a bit more complicated, but it's in plain English. We're essentially getting into an agreement with SEDOT in Beaufort County. We're going to be managing, they're going to be looking at the US 278, SC 170, US 21, SC 46, US 17, several of the roads that intersect between multiple counties. And so we're going to be analyzing that. We're going to be administering the master plan for it. Number 10, let's see here. So basically number 10 is an agreement with the U.S. State Department of Agriculture, Animal and Plant Health Inspection Services and Wildlife Services. They're going to be keeping geese and other wildlife out of our airport and helping us manage that. So that's a great service they'll be providing there. We're also getting a grant from the South Carolina Aeronautics Commission, and we're going to be administering that. And that's going to be for new air traffic control radio tower equipment. So it's going to be replaced. Number 12, it's going to be a letter of agreement for the airport and the shuttle service with Best of Hilton Head. So they're going to be providing transportation from the airport to hotels. Number 13, we're gonna be accepting a grant, from the South Carolina Department of Veteran Affairs in the amount of $3 million, which is gonna help revamp the Little Bay Treatment Plant. This is all tied to Beaufort Jasper Water Sewer Authority. Mr. Stone, thank you. And number 13 is also, while it's separate and apart, we also discussed number 16, which is $1.6 million for the Port Royal Reclamation Facility project, which is also tied to Beaufort Jasper Water Sewer Authority, and that is also coming from South Carolina Department of Veterans Affairs. Going back to number 14, it's another grant from SEAC, which is the South Carolina Aeronautics Commission, for runway rehabilitation projects. 15, so we're gonna be, was that one for, Hilton Head, or was that Beaufort? I'm trying to remember. Can't remember if that was, anyway. Hilton Head, yeah, I think Hilton Head. 15, we're also gonna be accepting a grant and aid from South Carolina Department of Public Health. And I apologize, I'm trying to remember specifically what that one was for. I'm trying to get through these as quickly as I can. I'll go back to 15. Number 17, we approved a contract for the design with Kimley Horn for the realignment of SC 462 and SC 170. This is also number 18. We approved the work authorization stemming from the runway rehabilitation funding to go to Talbot, Bright, and Ellington. And number 19, we did another runway rehabilitation construction project, which was the actual contract being awarded to Quality Enterprises. And 20 is the approval of the intergovernmental agreement. The city of Beaufort has actually asked us to help repave or resurface in a city-owned road in Battery Shores neighborhood. They're gonna be using their ARPA funds for us to do the repaving project. And if you bear with me, I can go back and find out what 15 is, because I cannot remember. Save my life. Say again? EMS, there you go. All right.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Deb?
Well, I don't have a committee report, but several of us went to South Carolina Association of Counties. A couple of us took a property taxation process class, which was the best one I've taken.
Yeah.
It was run by Department of Revenue.
Yeah.
They were stellar. The next class we took was effective communication.
With the media.
Take it or leave it, but we did that, and we were there for the awards. It was very refreshing to see our groups win awards. Last Friday, I did go to the ribbon cutting for the Veterans Fair Bluffton office. It's great to know we're gonna have those services available south of the Broad, because we have huge military retirees down south of the Broad. And I also attended the second session of the Beaufort County School District University. The first one was on finance, this one was on facilities and operations. Very interesting, and there's 4 more classes to go.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Thank you.
No more liaison committee reports. We'll move on to public hearings and action items. Number 13 is the approval of all those things you just heard about, which is the consent agenda. May I have a motion, please?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you, Ms. Howard. Second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Tab. Is there any discussion?
No, I think
Seeing no
they discussed
discussion,
it.
if there are no objections, we will pass the consent agenda. Are there any objections? Seeing no objections, it will pass. Item 14 is a second reading of an ordinance to provide for the issuance and sale of not exceeding $70 million general obligation bonds of 2025 of Beaufort County to prescribe the purposes for which the proceeds shall be expended, to provide for the payment thereof, and other matters relating thereto. This is the second reading. May I have a motion?
I'll make the motion,
Ms.
Mr.
Howard,
Chairman.
thank you. May I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Tab. Any discussion? No discussion. Any objections? Seeing no objections, this matter will pass. Number 15, first reading of an ordinance authorizing the administrator to execute all documents necessary for the acceptance of a drainage easement located at 1 Flamingo Cove on parcel R200-005-00050-0000. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Bartholomew. Thank you, Gerald, for the second. Any discussion?
I just have a question. Where is this? One Flamingo?
It's on Ladies Island.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Anything further in discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
I'm
sir.
going to vote, I don't know, I'm going to abstain on all these, the next three motions.
Okay.
Yeah.
You will then, okay, fine, thank you. Anything further? Any objections? Seeing no objections, number 15 will pass. Number 16 is first reading of an ordinance authorizing the acceptance of a drainage easement located at 10 Quail Ridge Circle South on parcel R100, 030000002680000. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Tab. Second, please.
I'll second it, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any discussion? Mr. Glover, you're abstaining on that one as well?
Yes.
Can I just make a comment?
Go ahead.
Just for the public, we discussed all these at length, which I don't want them to think we're just, approving them without discussion. These were already approved at committee.
Thank you for that.
Mr. Chairman, I also just want to make sure we put on the record at both the committee and the county council meeting that this is an employee's, a director's property. We've already
Would you
discussed.
say that again? It's a what?
It's a ACA's property that we're getting an easement. There's no monetary exchange here, but I do want to put it on the record that we are aware of this.
On number 16?
On number
She's not
16.
ACA.
Okay,
She-
okay,
She's not
She's
ACA?
she's
I
passive
apologize.
park director.
Passive park
Passive park.
director.
okay.
I was right when I
Any-
said director. first
Okay,
time.
thank you, David. Any further discussion on that? Number 16 will pass without objection. Are there any objections? We have one abstention, Sarah. Okay. No objections, this matter will pass. Number 17 is first reading of an ordinance authorizing the county administrator to execute any and all documents necessary to accept a right-of-way on Fish Hole Road. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that.
Let's be alive.
What can I say?
I'm happy to make the motion.
Thank you
We
very much.
discussed
It's good
this.
to be the motion maker.
Yes, thank you.
Is there any discussion on item 17, the right-of-way on Fish Hole Road? No discussion or any objections? Seeing no objections, this matter will pass. Number 18, first reading of an ordinance authorizing the county administrator to execute any and all necessary documents for the acceptance of a right-of-way properties on parcel R200, 011-000-000-70000 associated with Shepherd Road, Causey Way, and Dock Builders Drive on Ladies Island. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Thank you, Gerald. May I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Paula. Any
Mr. Chairman,
discussion?
I just want to say I'm going to be recusing myself again from this.
Okay, so you have to fill out some documents.
Yes,
I know
sir.
you'll take care of that. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Any further discussion?
No.
With no further discussion, are there any objections
I'm abstaining on these two.
on 18?
And 17, you got me
Yeah,
on
I got you
17.
on that one.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, 18 as well?
18 too?
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Glover is abstaining, Sarah, on 18 as well. Any further objections? Seeing no objections, this matter passes. Item 19 is first reading of an ordinance authorizing the county administrator to execute the documents to purchase and to fund the purchase of the real property located at 247 Robert Smalls Parkway. The fiscal impact is $2,720,000 to be funded by ARPA funds. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make the
moved.
motion. Oh.
Oh, I'll second it then.
Thank you very much. You got the first, yes, Sarah? Okay. Any discussion on this matter?
I'm, just like to make a comment. I'm glad that we are able to find a home for those the people that are gonna be moved out of the county building, so other things can move forward.
Who are those people, Ms. Howard?
DHEC.
DHEC, yeah, okay.
Well, they're not DHEC anymore. It's,
State.
Yeah, and we have an statutory obligation to find a place for them, and we have finally found one.
Right, they're, what do
It's
they call
Department of
that?
Public Health, I believe.
Department of Health.
Public Health, yeah.
Yeah, it's where you get birth.
It's been a long time search. I'm glad we found it as well.
Yeah.
Are there any further discussion on 19?
Bad.
Seeing none, are there any objections? Seeing no objections, this matter passes. Item 20 is first reading of an ordinance authorizing the county administrator to execute the documents to accept conveyance of a portion of property owned by the town of Bluffton, located at 140 Buck Island Road with TMSR 610-031-000, 0003000. May I have a motion, please?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Lawson. May I have a second?
I'll second.
I heard mumbling down there. Is that you?
Go for it.
That's Ms. Brown. Okay.
Always mumbling.
Any discussion? Seeing no discussion, are there any objections to this motion? No objections, this matter passes as well. We've already had the citizen comments, so there's no need to have any more, unless anyone else is in the audience that wishes to speak. No? Okay, so now we're going to move into executive session, and may I have a motion to do so, to receive legal advice relating to pending litigation, and to deal with other matters covered by the attorney-client privilege. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Mr. Dawson, thank you. In a second, Mr. Bartholomew, any discussion, any objection? Yes, Brian?
If I could just get you to give the specific reason for each of the.
You have to read them.
Give the reason for each one of them? I thought I did that.
The name, like where versus.
Okay, Ware versus Beaufort County, Beaufort County versus Broad Creek Development, Redfish Holdings LLC versus Beaufort County, and Beaufort County versus Okatee River Park / Pepper Hall LLC. That's a matter of legal advice relating to pending litigation and other matters covered by the attorney-client privilege. That'll do it?
Yep.
Okay. No objections. Then this matter carries. We're going into executive session. No telling how long we'll be there for those of you who wish to stay, and we won't know until we come back whether there will be any action taken out of matters arising from executive session. If you're not here when we come back, thank you for coming. It's always a pleasure to see you. Thank you very much. there's none here. Well, thank you all for staying. With regard to the, hold on a second.
We're back in
Yeah,
session.
with regard to the matters arising out of executive session, there are going to be some motions made by members of this deliberative body. And then I will take them in the order that we had them listed on the executive session. So the first motion would be that dealing with the Ware versus Beaufort County. Who has that one?
Mr. Chairman, I have that. I would
Okay,
like
would
to
you be
move
kind
that.
enough to make a motion?
I would like
Thank
to
you.
make a motion. I move that the council not approve the settlement offer proposed by the plaintiffs in the litigation related to James Ware versus Beaufort County at this time.
I have a second for that motion.
I'll second it.
Is there any further discussion on that matter? We're, pass this motion without objection. Are there any objections to that matter?
No.
This matter then passes. Second item is the Beaufort County versus Broad Creek Development.
I'd like to make a motion, Chairman. I move the council authorizes the deputy county attorney and our outside counsel in the case of Broad Creek Development versus Beaufort County to attempt to negotiate a settlement for the amount as discussed in executive session, and if successful, for the county administrator to execute a settlement agreement for an amount as discussed in executive session.
May I have a second, please?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Dawson. Is there any discussion? May we pass this without objection? Are there any objections? Seeing none, this matter passes. The third item is Redfish Holdings LLC versus Beaufort County.
I move that council authorize the deputy county attorney and our outside counsel in the case of Redfish Holdings LLC v. Beaufort County to attempt to negotiate a settlement in an amount as discussed in executive session, and if successful, for the county administrator to execute a settlement agreement for an amount as discussed in executive session.
I have a
I
second,
second
please.
that.
Thank you. You get that, Sarah? Okay. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll pass this without objection. Is anyone object? This matter passes without objection. And the last item is the Beaufort County versus Okatee River Park / Pepper Hall LLC.
Mr. Chairman, I move that council authorize the deputy county attorney to negotiate a settlement agreement with the parties involved in the Okatee River Park contractual dispute for an amount discussed in executive session, and if successful, authorize the county administrator to execute a settlement agreement for an amount as discussed in executive session.
May I have a second, please?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Mr. Glover. Any discussion? Seeing no discussion, are there any objections? And hearing no objections, this matter passes as well. Before I adjourn the meeting tonight, is there any other business to come before council this evening before we adjourn?
Yes, sir. I have one announcement, if I may.
Okay, thank you.
You do?
We just got word that FEMA is going to be opening a disaster recovery center in Beaufort County to provide in-person assistance to residents affected by Hurricane Helene. Residents from FEMA, the state of South Carolina, and the U.S. Small Business Administration will be available to provide assistance with no appointment necessary. This is late breaking, but it will be open beginning tomorrow at the Burton Wells Recreation Center located at 1 Middleton Recreation Drive, Tuesday, October 29th through Thursday, October 31st. And the operating hours of the DRC will be 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. This is very good news with all the efforts FEMA's been putting forth that they're going to actually have presence here in Beaufort County, so we want to get that word out. That will also be a press release on this to follow.
Tomorrow.
Correct. It will be open beginning tomorrow morning.
But I mean, the press release
It's going out tonight.
tonight.
It's out tonight.
Great, okay. Any questions?
Thank you,
for
Mike.
Thank you.
Mr.
That's
Moore? Any
great.
questions on that?
Great
Comments,
news.
observations?
Have a nice vacation.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Appreciate that. Okay, seeing no other business,
I was gonna say.
I didn't see Hannah there, okay. Seeing no other business, this meeting is adjourned.